Imagine it's 5 p.m. You've had a long day, you're exhausted, and you finally sit down for a moment of peace. You hand your toddler a banana, but it breaks in half. Suddenly, the world ends. The screaming starts, the arching back, the inconsolable tears. In that moment, it feels like they are manipulating you, being spoiled, or just being difficult for the sake of it. But what if I told you that biologically, your child is physically incapable of being bad in that moment? Most tantrums aren't actually about misbehavior. They are a cry for help in a language your child hasn't learned to speak yet. Before we dive into the deep science behind this, hit that like button and subscribe to join our parenting community. When a child screams because they got the blue cup instead of the red one, it looks like a power struggle to the adult eye. It looks dramatic, disruptive, and frankly irrational. However, there is a massive gap between how we perceive the event and what the child is actually experiencing. If we look under the hood of the developing brain, we see a completely different story. What we perceive as defiance is actually a state of total internal disorganization. We see a bratty behavior. The brain is actually screaming that it has encountered a neurological emergency. The child isn't trying to give you a hard time, they are having a hard time. To understand why this happens, we have to look at the architecture of the human brain. Think of the brain as a two-story house. The upstairs brain, or the prefrontal cortex, is the library. It's where logic, empathy, planning, and impulse control live. This is the part of the brain we want our children to use. Then there is the downstairs brain, the limbic system, and the brainstem. This is the cellar where our fight, flight, or freeze response lives. It's responsible for survival and strong emotions. In a young child, the stairs connecting these two floors haven't been built yet. Brain development is a slow process that isn't fully complete until the mid-20s. When a child is overwhelmed by a broken banana or a lost toy, they flip their lid. This means the upstairs brain goes completely offline. The stairs are gone. You cannot reason with a child whose upstairs brain is disconnected. Asking a screaming toddler, "Why did you do that?" or "Don't you see I'm tired?" is like asking a person underwater to explain a complex math problem. They literally do not have access to the parts of the brain required to process your logic. As parents, our first instinct is to use logic, shame, or authority to regain control. We say, "It's just a banana," or "Stop crying right now or no dessert." But here is the scientific catch. When we meet their emotional chaos with our own anger, loud voice, or cold logic, their amygdala, the brain's smoke detector, senses a threat. Because the child is already in a state of downstairs brain arousal, our frustration acts as fuel. This triggers what psychologists call a stress response loop. They feel disconnected from their safe person, you, which makes them feel even less safe, causing the nervous system to ramp up. The tantrum grows louder because the body is flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. They aren't fighting you because they want to win, they're fighting because their nervous system thinks it's fighting for survival in an internal storm. Beyond just brain structure, we must consider sensory processing. Young children lack sensory filters. To an adult, a crowded grocery store is just a chore. To a toddler, the bright fluorescent lights, the humming refrigerators, the towering shelves, and the rustling bags are a sensory bombardment. Often, a tantrum at the checkout line isn't about the candy bar you said no to. The candy bar was simply the final drop of water that caused the bucket to overflow. Their nervous system was already at 99% capacity. When we understand that the behavior is a result of a biological system crash, our empathy naturally replaces our irritation. So, how do we handle this without losing our minds? We move from discipline to co-regulation with the 3-step co-regulation strategy. Step 1. Check your own battery. You cannot be the anchor in their storm if you are caught in the waves. Before you speak, take one deep, conscious breath. Your nervous system is scanning yours to see if the environment is safe. Your calm is contagious, but so is your chaos. If you are screaming, "Calm down," you are sending a double message that confuses their brain. Step 2. Validate the emotion, not the action. You don't have to agree with the reason for the tantrum to acknowledge the feeling of the moment. You're not giving in to the demand for the red cup, you're acknowledging the frustration of the moment. Try saying, "You really wanted the whole banana. You're feeling so sad that it broke." This signals to their amygdala, "I am seen. I am safe. I don't have to fight anymore." Step 3. The quiet presence. Sometimes words are too much for a flipped lid. Just sit near them. This is what psychologists call holding space. You are proving that their big emotions aren't too much for you to handle. This presence is what eventually builds the stairs between their downstairs and upstairs brain. When we handle tantrums this way, we are playing the long game. We're not just looking for immediate silence, we're teaching emotional intelligence. Every time you stay calm and present during their meltdown, you are literally helping wire their brain to handle stress better in adulthood. You are teaching them that emotions aren't scary or bad, they're just information. By not punishing the emotion, you teach them to trust their own internal experience. A calm presence won't stop a tantrum instantly, and that's okay. The goal isn't to stop the tantrum, it's to support the child through it. This tells the child, "You're not alone while this passes." That message of secure attachment builds more resilience and self-regulation than any timeout or punishment ever could. Parenting isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. It's about recognizing that underneath the screaming and the kicking is a tiny human whose brain is still under construction. Tomorrow, when the blue cup crisis happens, take a breath and remember, they aren't being a problem, they're having a problem. You are their biological anchor. I'd love to hear from you. What is the most random or tiny thing that has triggered a massive meltdown in your house lately? Was it the way a sandwich was cut or a sock that felt too tight? Share your situations in the comments below. Let's realize we're not alone and support each other through these big emotion days.